LA Rider is brought to you by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers, serving Louisiana motorcyclists and their families for nearly 2 decades. Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers for the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign.
When you're on a motorcycle, you got to look out for all kinds of stuff. But after a crash, it's a danger you can't see that can really get you.
The insurance company is working behind the scenes to deny you compensation.
They're building a case against you, but at Dudley DeBosier, we're working for you.
Keep your head on a swivel. Let these guys look out for you. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
Hello and welcome to LA Rider, Louisiana's only television show devoted entirely to motorcycle lifestyles, travel, and adventure. I'm T.W. Robinson and we're so excited you're joining us today. This week we take a ride into the heart of Cajun country and the town of Arnoville for lunch at a little restaurant with a big reputation. While in Arnoville, we'll see how this town of only 1,000 is literally brimming with artists and musicians. And from the LA Rider Vault, a look back at our first trip to the Couchon de Lait Festival in Mansoura, and my first attempt at hog calling. All this and much more on this edition of LA Rider. So twist that throttle and let's take a ride. Welcome back. I'm TW and this is LA Rider. So glad you're joining us again. We've been riding the highways and byways of Louisiana for 19 years now, and yet we have never run out of interesting roads to ride, exciting places to visit, and good food to eat. Take, for example, the town of Arnoville, which I visited for the first time last week. Another great day for a ride as I merged onto US Highway 190 from Louisiana Highway 415 and headed west. Before the construction of Interstate 10, this was the main highway to Opelousas, Lafayette, and on into Texas. Today, with most of the east-west traffic moved to the interstate, 190 is a pleasant, uncrowded 4-lane, and recent resurfacing work on some segments is making it even more pleasant to ride. Straight as an arrow in most places, however, can make Highway 190 a little boring at times. But the view is generally good, and the occasional towns like Irwinville, Livonia, and Krotz Springs break up the monotony. Just before the town of Port Barre, I took a left on LA 741 and headed toward Bayou Teche. This 2-lane stretch is also pretty straight, but it too is lightly traveled and in pretty good shape as it passes through farmlands and crawfish ponds. Once I reached Bayou Teche, I took another left on Highway 31 and followed along the bayou for the final portion of my ride. destination, Arnoville, a tiny town of about 1,000 people, which sits in 2 parishes and has an amazing restaurant, which lots of people are talking about.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what are they going to do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us. Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
Save us.
If you're not paying close attention as you cross the bayou into town, you might just ride right past the little Big Cup. I did. There's no big sign and no parking lot. Just a sidewalk separates the restaurant from the highway. But it's right across the street from the big Russell's food store. I found a place for Red Ryder just out of traffic, in front of the food store parking lot, and walked about a block to the restaurant. It may look small on the outside, but there's nothing little about the little Big Cup. The restaurant, which backs up to Bayou Fuselier, where it meets Bayou Teche, features plenty of tables indoors, as well as seating on 2 decks in the rear. The outdoor area is so pleasant and inviting, I just had to take it all in before I even picked up the menu. What a perfect little place for lunch and cocktails. Oh, I bet this is fabulous at night. I bet it is so cool. Have cocktails out here right on the bayou. This is a sort of place where you just want to kick back, have a cocktail, and chill out. But I never mix motorcycles with alcohol, so a glass of cool, refreshing half-and-half iced tea was my beverage for the day. Very good iced tea. The menu is something deserving of study. There are all sorts of seafood dishes and specialties. Just gazing at all the descriptions was a visual feast. But I was ready for the real thing. I decided to start with fried crawfish cornbread. And believe me, this was not my grandmother's cornbread. Oh my goodness, oh, this is incredible. I'll just eat another one of these. About the time I polished off the last of the crawfish cornbread, my main course arrived, a crackling dusted mac and cheese burger. Oh my gosh. Is that... Can I get down? Oh my God. Bob Courtney chose a Cajun Kevin po' boy. Calling this thing a po' boy may be a stretch. Wow. Is that unbelievable? Okay, first I'll have a piece of bacon. Okay. Okay. So this is a hamburger, right? So this is the bun. Thank you. Which consists of fried mac and cheese. A fried mac and cheese bun for the hamburger. You think I'm going to try to take a bite of this like I normally do? Can't do it. Okay. Look at that. This weighs a pound, just the half of it. Now, you might think such a fancy meal would be pretty expensive, but it's not. Entrees range from $11 to $29 and appetizers from $9 to $19. And as you can see, the portions are huge. By the way, Little Big Cup is pet friendly, and there's even a clatter of cats that hang out in the shadows, just waiting for a drop morsel of shrimp or catfish. Dinner and a floor show. What could be more fun for an animal lover like me?
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever been so full in my life. But then I say that every time. But not only do I have an incredible amount of food, but they have a little twist on every item that you order. I mean, who ever heard of a mac and cheese bun? Really? It's crazy good. You need to come over here. It's the ride is beautiful through the countryside, and the food, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. We'll be right back.
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
Please watch for motorcycles. You might just save someone's life. Motocross? We've got it at G & Gonzalez in Baton Rouge. All the bikes, all the gear, and the expertise to help make you number one at the track. From beginner to expert, we've got just what you need at G & Gonzalez in Baton Rouge. Come see us today at G & Gonzalez, Louisiana's oldest family-owned power sports dealer, located in downtown Baton Rouge in the shadow of the state capitol.
Race on down to G & Gonzalez. Becoming number one starts here.
We're waiting for you!
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
Please watch for motorcycles. You might just save someone's life.
Just putting on leather and sitting on a bike doesn't make someone a biker. And it's easy to tell the posers from the pros.
Same goes for law firms. Just because someone's a lawyer doesn't mean they know motorcycle cases.
At Dudley DeBosier, we've been fighting for injured bikers all over Louisiana for years.
After a crash, get experience on your side. Call Dudley DeBosier. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
Support motorcycle safety and encourage other drivers to watch for motorcycles. Purchase a motorcycle awareness specialty plate for your car, truck, or motorcycle. For an additional $25 a year, you can help the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign promote safety, awareness, and training programs throughout Louisiana. I'm T.W. Robinson. No matter what you ride, put a MAC plate on it and help support motorcycle awareness wherever you go.
Improve your skills. Make U-turns with ease. Tighten your corners and ride with more confidence and greater control. Sign up now for Cajun Thunder's Motorcycle Skills Training Course taught by police instructor Mike Richard and Amanda Joe at Cajun Thunder's state-of-the-art facility in Ponchatoula. Take your riding skills to the next level with Cajun Thunder's Rider Advancement Training.
At Jandy Imports, we have everything for your ride. From high-quality leather jackets, vests, and chaps, to saddlebags, luggage, and riding boots. We have a large selection of helmets, too, and feature a full line of AMSOIL and bike care products. At Jandy Imports, you'll find the area's largest selection of patches, all sewed on for you while you wait. You need it? We've got it. At Jandy Imports, the little store with the big inventory.
Come see us at Jandy Imports.
Arnoville is such an interesting little town. Not only is it located in 2 parishes, but it's also one of the oldest towns in the region. And although the population is just over 1,000, it is home to a large community of artists. And you can find many of them at a place called Nunu's.
I'm Bob Courtney. You'll find Nunu on Bayou Cotabla Highway on the southern edge of Arnoville. Housed in what once was the Singleton Hardware and Lumber Complex, Nunu is a place where visual and performing artists can gather, create, and display their work. The Nunu Arts and Culture Collective is the outgrowth of an arts market established in 2005 by visual artist George Marks and his nephew to promote local art. Today, it's a creative center which promotes local culture and has inspired a rural art movement.
Nunu's is kind of that was George's father's nickname, and Nunu's is a very popular term of endearment, let's call it like that. Right. There's a lot of people whose nickname is Nunu's or Nunu. So I know there's one in New Iberia, there's probably one in St. Martinville, if I'm not mistaken. There's Nunu's all over Southwest Louisiana.
Ralph Shakesnyder is one of the many local artists who shows his work at Nunu. Shakesnyder is a photographer who creates organic art using light and nature.
Well, I'm mostly a photographer. But during COVID, I actually put away my camera and started doing what they call cameraless image making. And when I say it's a cameraless image, I start off with a piece of sensitized paper. Since I live right next to the bayou and I have all sorts of plant material to choose from, I could go out and just forage and cut leaves and flowers or whatever, and I'll make a composition. And I work a little bit of my magic on it. I've got some tricks up my sleeve I use. But then I'll place a sheet of glass on, set it outside for maybe a day, take them in, wash them, run them through a fixer, and I have an image.
She's just a lonely old cowgirl, lost in her pain.
Musicians like singer-songwriter Ted Thibodeau regularly appear at Nunu. The intimate setting allows visitors to interact with the musicians as they discuss and perform their creative works.
And every day his memory comes to visit. It all just is the same. She goes through another bottle to get through another day.
Nunu may be a bit off the beaten path, but it's the perfect place to immerse yourself in the unique art, culture, and music of Acadiana. For LA Rider, I'm Bob Courtney.
She goes through another bottle, get through another day. She's just a lonely old cowgirl, lost in her pain.
Nunu Arts and Culture Collective is open Thursday through Sunday from 11 to 4 p.m. Check it out. By the way, the day we ate at Little Big Cup, I posted some pictures on Facebook, and several viewers suggested we also try another great restaurant in Arnoville. 2 great restaurants in one tiny town? You bet. And we'll tell you all about Myron's next week. Back in a moment.
For the best in restorative and cosmetic dental care, choose Dr. Jason Hutto. Your smile is important, and so is your overall oral health. And at the dental office of Jason Hutto, our aim is to provide the highest quality dental care. From implants and cosmetic procedures to fillings, root canals, and cleaning, choose Dr. Jason Hutto.
Hi, I'm Jason Hutto. Call for your appointment today.
But not on Fridays. That's the day we ride.
Improve your skills. Make U-turns with ease. Tighten your corners and ride with more confidence and greater control. Sign up now for Cajun Thunder's motorcycle skills training course taught by police instructor Mike Richard and Amanda Joe at Cajun Thunder's state-of-the-art facility in Ponchatoula. Take your riding skills to the next level with Cajun Thunder's Rider Advancement Training.
At G & Gonzalez, we do it all, from really big to the really small. keeping you safe? No problem. We have the latest AOT racing gear found exclusively at G & Gonzalez. Don't monkey around. Head on down to G & Gonzalez of Baton Rouge, where the fun begins.
For more than 40 years, Robert Rad Leonard has provided South Louisiana motorcyclists with all their needs, from a showroom jam-packed with all the latest gear to a full-service shop featuring skilled technicians who handle everything from routine service to complete engine rebuilds. Rad Cycles also carries a huge selection of pre-owned models and has the area's largest inventory of used bike parts. For all your riding needs, do what South Louisiana motorcyclists have been doing since 1978. Go Rad. Rad Cycles. They're rider recommended. Looking for a trailer? Check out Mike Gerald's Trailer Depot. At Mike's 2 Baton Rouge locations, you'll find a huge inventory of high-quality motorcycle trailers, boat trailers, cargo trailers, utility trailers, and custom-built trailers. Plus, the largest inventory of trailer parts and accessories in the area. Can't find that perfect trailer? Let Mike build one for you. Mike Gerald's Trailer Depot. 2 locations in Baton Rouge to serve you. They're rider recommended.
Want a high-quality used motorcycle delivered to your door with a money-back guarantee? At usedbikesdirect.com, you can choose from hundreds of high-quality American, Japanese, and European motorcycles. Just browse our website, pick your bike, get your financing, and arrange your trade-in, all from the comfort of your home. And we'll deliver it straight to your door for free, complete with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Buying a used motorcycle has never been easier or safer. Just go to usedbikesdirect.com and start shopping.
Louisiana has more festivals than it has weekends, and this weekend one of the best is taking place in Mansoura, Louisiana. Our schedule wouldn't permit us to take in this year's Couchon de Lait Festival, but from the vault, here's a story from our first trip there and my attempt to do a little hog calling.
If you're gonna ride a hog, you may as well learn how to call one. And there's no better place to learn than Mansoura, Louisiana. They've been calling hogs here since the Louisiana legislature designated Mansoura the Couchon de Lait capital of the world back in 1960. This is the real reason people come to Mansoura's Couchon de Lait Festival.
Yesterday afternoon we put them in the racks and we hung them about 6 o'clock. And then all night we just keep a fire on them, turn them, let the grease cook them, and then by 6, 7 o'clock we can start taking them off, and just as we need them we start cutting them up like we're doing right now. So it's not really complicated. It just takes a lot of manpower. That's all. And we got good workers. We got good people.
Boy,
really do.
And y'all have fun getting together doing this every year?
This is why we do it.
And it's a non-alcoholic event.
Can you pronounce that a little bit better?
Non-alcoholic event.
Roughly translated, Couchon de Lait means suckling pig, but in Cajun culture, it's simply a pig roast. And they roast a lot of pigs in Mansoura on Mother's Day weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I could probably eat this. The other thing is.
You need to get a piece of that.
That's off the tail. That's a good part.
Yeah.
I
Get a piece of
good.
Where are the lips?
Delicious.
Now, if you're watching your triglycerides, you may want to look for some shrimp on a stick or perhaps a nice healthy turkey leg. Yes, they have them too. But at the Couchon de Lait Festival, pork is king. Just standing near this table, I could feel my cholesterol levels rising.
This is almost like
it's a family
reunion. I mean, we do it, and that's one of the reasons we do it, because it just brings everybody together like this, and it's almost just a camaraderie of doing it.
Now, I have to admit the smell of roast pork made me a little hungry, but there would be time for eating later. Right now, my attention was drawn to the sounds of swamp pop coming from the festival's main stage. What I had on my mind was the hog calling contest. It's an old tradition here at the festival as men, women, boys, and girls compete to see who can do the best job of calling a hog to slaughter.
That's right.
Now, this didn't look that hard, but since it was my first rodeo, so to speak, I sought the advice of some of the locals.
And then they always go, sweet, like.
Oh, I can do it. I've been practicing the sue.
Okay, but I'm going to do that. Well, I thought about doing this other little thing.
Nervous? I am nervous. First time I've ever called a pig. We had cows. We didn't have pigs.
TW.
I'm doing the basic pig call.
Holy moly. That's probably be the prettiest hog caller we ever had. Here we go.
And I'm not even a queen. How did I not get the queen? Whoops. Okay. This will be my first ever hog calling. So bear with me. Okay. All right. Sue-wee! Sue-wee! Here, piggy, 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 piggy! Sue-wee!
Y'all get over TW, that was awesome.
Well, I didn't win, but we all got a lesson on how it's done from this year's winner and defending champion.
Let me talk to you a second. So, now, how did you learn how to, do you call hogs every day?
No, ma'am. I mean, heck, we just raise a bunch of them. We got a whole bunch of them. I mean, it's just something you hear every day, you know.
And do they come when you call them?
No, not really. It's just a way, I mean, pretty much just having fun.
Now, even though I didn't win this year, I intend to keep practicing. And Francois says that if I come back next year, he'll help coach me in the proper way to call a hog. Who knows, maybe T.W. Robinson Hog Rider has a future as T-Girl Robino Hog Caller. You just never know.
I've been back a few times since, and on my last trip, I even placed second in the hog calling contest. But so far, that first place medallion has eluded me. Well, there's always next year. I'm T.W. Robinson. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, for another great edition of LA Rider. As always, we haven't been everywhere, but it's on our list. See you next week.
LA Rider is brought to you by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers, serving Louisiana motorcyclists and their families for nearly 2 decades. Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers for the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign.
When you're on a motorcycle, you got to look out for all kinds of stuff. But after a crash, it's a danger you can't see that can really get you.
The insurance company is working behind the scenes to deny you compensation.
They're building a case against you, but at Dudley DeBosier, we're working for you.
Keep your head on a swivel. Let these guys look out for you. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
God bless chrome cowgirls like us.